Justin, why don't you give us an overview of what exactly is happening in Sudan?
The issues in Sudan had dated long time before the independence of the country in 1956. The Sudanese citizens, which mostly they came from the Arab backgrounds, Arab culture, hijacked the power in 1956 after the independence from the Britain, and controlled the power only for the northerners, so the marginalized rest of the country. So from that point, Sudan right there entered to the second day after the independence into war between the south and the north. I think the issue is not because of the south, the issue of the south and the north, but I think the south was in a position of realization that they have been excluded from the power sharing. Therefore, the issue of the Sudan, not between the south and the north, but as holistically, it is because Sudan was being defined by the Arabs who hijacked the power in Sudan in 1956, as Sudan is an Arab country, and Sudan is an Islamic country, and the Islamic religion is the state religion. There is no power sharing between the south and the north and west and the east. There is no sharing of the natural resources between the north and the south and the east. Therefore, that was the core elements of the divisions of the politics in Sudan. Again, I will just repeat for you, one of the issues is the identity of the Sudan, the separation of the religion from the states, sharing of the power, sharing of the natural resources. By default, Sudan is an African country, regardless of who lives there. We do have the Arab minorities, we do have African tribes. All these cultures, this diverse culture, made up Sudan. And we have so many religions. We have Christianity, we have Islam, we have the African indigenous religion also made up the identity of the Sudan. So it is wrong to say that Sudan is an Arab country. It is wrong to say that Sudan is an Islamic country. Now, what is happening today after the signing of the CPA, because this is the second phase of the war, the first one from 1956 to 1973, where the people of the Southern Sudan fought for the equal rights. That agreement was signed in 1972 in Addis Ababa under the deposed President Jafar Numeir, who just died recently. But that agreement was not being honored by the North, by the government in the central government. And the idea of the central government at that time, which was being only controlled by the Arab North, they say, let us sign the agreement, peace agreement with the South. And after we sign the peace agreement, in 2 or 3 years, when we actually controls them and disarm them, then we can throw this agreement into the basket, the garbage basket. That was the problem. So now, Sudan was only peaceful for 10 years, from 1973 to 1983. The leaders of the first movement, Anyanya One, decided that, you know what, we have to continue fight again until we get the equal rights between the Sudanese citizens. Under the leadership of John Garang, they were able to carry arms and rebel against the government of the Northern Sudan. And the war went from 1983 to 2005. So in January 2005, they signed an agreement called the CPA, Comprehensive Peace Agreement in Nairobi, Naivasha, which gives the Southern Sudan self-governing system in the south for 6 years until 2011. Then the South Sudan will determine whether they want to be a united country or we want to be a separate country. But of course, the time will determine that.